Hello, this is Jennifer Bailey, and in this lecture I'm going to show you how to install plugins onto your WordPress website. Now you might be wondering what plugins are. Well, plugins basically extend WordPress to do anything that you can imagine. And on the wordpress.org website there is a directory where you can find different plugins. You can download them, you can rate them, comment on them, get advice on them. On all the different and the best plugins that the WordPress community has to offer. Now currently there's over 25,000 plugins that you can install, and some are going to be better than others, so it's always worth looking at how they've been rated. So they have a little star system to see which ones have been considered the best ones to use. Now plugins can be used for all sorts of different functions. For example, they can be used to change the way that WordPress looks, for adding features such as a word cloud, adding a Google map, for increasing the security on your WordPress site to prevent hackers from hacking into it. You can use it to exclude pages from navigation. You can use it for SEO, for including Google Analytics or Google Sitemaps. There's so many different functions that plugins can provide. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how you go about installing these plugins. The first thing you need to do is log into your WordPress dashboard and then go to Plugins. And here you can see I have a list of my currently installed plugins, and at the moment I only have one activated, which is the Super Cache down here, but I also have 3 others installed but they're not activated, which is why they're greyed out. Now in the same way as installing themes, there's different ways to install plugins. So the first we're going to do is click Add New. So in the same way, you can either upload a plugin, and that's exactly the same way as a theme. You basically click upload, and then you can choose a file that's installed on your computer. I'm going to show you how to install a plugin using this method, but first I want to show you something. So if you go to Pages and All New, and then click on Edit on the sample page, you'll notice that there's an editor here to help you edit your text, which isn't very big. I mean, you can click on Show Hide Kitchen Sink and it will give you some more options for editing your information, but it is very limited. Whereas I've come across a really handy plugin called Ultimate Tiny MCE, and basically this will expand this editor for you to give you more editing options. So what you need to do, I've opened the link up and I'll put the link in the notes section. So I'm on wordpress.org and I'm on plugins ultimate-tiny MCE, and if I scroll down you'll see a bit more about it. It basically beefs up your visual tiny MC editor with some other advanced options. So if you want to look a bit more information about it, on this page it does tell you what it does. But basically it adds 40 new buttons to your default editor, which gives you a lot more flexibility when it comes to editing the way your text looks. And if you've used any sort of editing software before and then try and use the one in WordPress, you'll probably find yourself quite frustrated because you can't change the font or you can't change the style, and you want to make your posts and pages look really nice, and actually it's really difficult to do that. So all you need to do is come up to the download button, click download. At the moment we're on version 4.7, and I keep a folder on my computer called WordPress plugins, so I'm going to stick it in there, save, and you'll notice then it was in a zip file. So I'm just going to let that download onto the computer. Okay, so it's downloaded now. We'll come back to our WordPress site, come back to plugins and add new, and then back up to upload, because obviously this is one coming off my computer. Choose file, and into my WordPress folder, plugins, and we need to find So I've got an older version on here, so this is the one we want, 4.7. So you can either double click on there or click once and then click open. So there's my zip file, install now. So there we go, it's unpacking and installing the plugin. So all we need to do now is activate the plugin. Okay, now you can take a tour of it to go and have a look and see what it's all about. Or you can come across to here where we've got a new category on our menu and click on that to go and edit it. Now it looks a little bit daunting at first because there's quite a lot of options. I'm just going to close the tour. But basically what it lets you to do is choose different buttons that you want to show on your editor. So for example, you might want font select, you might want size, copy, paste, and all of those things which weren't there before. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to select a couple of these, and you can choose what row they are on in your editor as well. There's quite a few different ones, so you can go down and just basically select the ones that you want to have. And then we're just going to update buttons option. Now there is actually a pro version of this plugin as well, but I tend to use the free one, but there might be some features that you want which are only available in the pro. So I'll also put the link to that one in the notes section as well. So now if we go back to our page, we'll have a look to see how the editor has changed. So as you can see now, we have some extra options. We have font family, font size, and cut, paste, etc. But obviously if you want to go and put some extra ones on, you can go back into the menu down here and edit it. Let's go back to the plugins page now, and I can show you the next method of uploading or searching for plugins. Go to add new. You can also look at featured, popular, newest and favourite plugins. So as you can see, these are all the ones that are featured at the moment, and all you would do is go to the plugin like the BB Press here and click install now. As you can see, the Jetpack is already installed. Here is the rating system I was telling you about, so you can see how highly or not highly the plugin has been rated, which might give you some help to choosing the right plugin, because often there are so many that do the same thing, it's very difficult to know which is the best one or not. You can also read a description as well about the plugin. Also, it's worth checking when the last time the plugin was updated, because sometimes the plugin may not be compatible with the latest version of WordPress if it hasn't been upgraded for a certain length of time. You can also choose to search for a plugin. So I'm just going to demonstrate this. So let's say we want a Google Analytics plugin. We type in Google Analytics and we click search plugins. And here we can see there are several different Google Analytics plugins. So you might want to read the description, look at the rating. Now I've used this top one before, so I'm just going to use this one as a demonstrator, and I'm going to click install now. Do you want to install it? Yes, I do. So click OK. And as you can see, it is now installed. So all I need to do is activate it. So here we are, we have the Google Analytics plugin installed. Now you might be wondering how you configure this new plugin that I've installed. So if you remember in the beginning when I did a navigation video of the WordPress dashboard, I mentioned there could be different categories and other menu options added to this menu down the left hand side. So if I click on settings here, you'll now see there is an option for me to configure the Google Analytics tool. Now some plugins are very simple like this one, and some are more complex. But what we're going to do as the lectures progress, I'll indicate which plugins we need to install, and we'll work on them to give functionality to our WordPress website. And depending on the website you are designing for you or your business, you may or may not need it. So in this lecture, we've basically covered how to upload a plugin, how to search for a plugin or choose one from, say, a featured list, so you can install WordPress plugins into your website. I'm Jennifer Bailey. Thank you for watching.